Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
It's a hard thing to ask for help. Nobody wants to say, I don't make enough money to keep my child alive.
In the face of rising drug costs, North Dakota lawmakers are now fighting back and are helping families.
Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall talks with one lawmaker who is fighting for lower insulin prices and the local mother who is joining in.
Imagine picking up a prescription for 90 days to keep your child alive with a retail price of $3,900. Right here in Fargo. My child needs to survive every day.
Johnson says the rising cost of insulin hurts her family financially and emotionally. Last year, Johnson's insurance company paid a total of $30,000 for the medication, and the prices keep climbing.
It's heartbreaking to see in America that people who need this to live are charged that kind of money. If you don't have insurance, how on earth would you pay that for 90 days?
It isn't just the families of diabetics who are paying the price for high insulin costs.
So then the next year we pay higher premiums, as do all the other employees in your business, as does the business who carries insurance for their employees. So it is definitely a drain on the funds in society.
Everyone's impacted because the costs, the millions and millions and millions of dollars just in North Dakota for the care of persons who have diabetes is really spread amongst all of us.
Now, Johnson is teaming up with State Senator Tim Mathern to stand up for all North Dakota families. Mathern introduced Resolution 4002, which wants diabetes and its treatments studied.
It makes me hopeful. It takes it from this legislator understanding from this family what the problems are to 18 legislators in a study group to understand the bigger issues.
Senator Mathern tells me there's no timeline for this process, leaving some families with mixed feelings.
The reality is it takes that long for the legislature to understand the issue and take action.
It was great to have the initiative introduced to the legislature, but it's just studying it, which is really going to give 2 years to people to see what we already know. We know families are suffering. I want all the legislators to know that I'm 100% certain that every one of them has someone in their district that deals with this disease. They may not know them, they may not know about them, but if they start asking, they're going to hear stories about what it's done to families. We just can't give up and say it's going to take too long.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
The measure still has a long way to go, having to clear several legislative hurdles, and if approved in the House, would also have to be approved by the Senate. Also, we have the full statements from the drug companies on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com.
A Fargo man had his family car stolen Sunday night at the Hornbachers in North Fargo. Jordan Dupre says he went inside to get some quarters for laundry. When he came out roughly 3 minutes later, the car was gone. His wife says he left the car running as there had been some difficulties with the car battery, but they never thought this would happen. He says that Hornbachers tells him that a man was sitting in the Caribou Coffee area, and as Dupre came inside, the man took his car. Now the family is struggling without a reliable way to go about their day, and they're asking for the community's help in locating their car.
Not having a vehicle creates a lot of stress on us trying to get our 9-year-old to school, trying to bring our 7-week-old newborn to daycare, whatever it may be, getting groceries, getting ourselves to work. It just creates a lot of problems for us.
The car is a 4-door silver 2006 BMW 525i with a North Dakota license plate of 974CJR. You can call police if you have any information regarding this stolen car. And if you need help uncovering an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
2 people face multiple charges following a high-speed chase with police and getting busted for drugs. Deputies say on Thursday they tried to stop a vehicle outside of Wadena, Minnesota, but it kept going and reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. Eventually, the driver, 25-year-old Aaron Bounds, and passenger, 34-year-old Amber Sutherland, were arrested. Deputies found 15 grams of meth in the vehicle. Bounds was charged with fleeing in a motor vehicle in possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. Sutherland was also charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell.
A couple more days, maybe one day and a half of double digits, and then we'll be slammed with some Arctic air. But tonight, Hutch, anything to worry about?
Yeah, no, we do have some low clouds and fog across the area, and from time to time we're seeing a few flakes drifting out of the sky. Here is a look at visibilities down to 0 in Langdon, a quarter of a mile in Candu and Devil's Lake. Reduced visibilities as well across the Crookston area. And here's a look at a fog advisory in effect until 7 o'clock. However, fog will be pesky into the overnight hours. Satellite not showing a lot as far as snowfall goes, but we can't rule out some periods of light snowflakes out there. A little accumulation as temperatures will be fairly steady this evening here in Fargo and Grand Forks in the teens, with south winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. The changes begin, Andrea, tomorrow. I'll let you know how cold we get here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
The man accused in the abduction of Wisconsin teenager Jamie Kloss now stands charged with kidnapping and with murdering Kloss's parents. Kloss, who was found alive and well last week after escaping from a cabin, is recovering with relatives. Authorities say 21-year-old Jake Patterson targeted Kloss after spotting her getting on a school bus. Court documents say Jamie Kloss told authorities that Patterson broke into her home, shot and killed her parents. He then bound her hands and ankles, dragged her to the trunk of his car, and drove away.
The prosecution team that you see assembled here today wants justice for James and Denise Kloss and for Jamie Kloss.
For Patterson, he's now being held with a $5 million bail. He faces the possibility of life in prison. Tonight at 10 on Valley News Live, more details from today's criminal complaint, which was released, that about what happened to Jamie at Patterson's house and the extent of planning the accused did before taking Kloss.
In light of multiple drivers disregarding school bus stop arms, the Bemidji Police Department is implementing a proactive program to encourage the city's drivers to stop when the bus arm is up. The program will place a Bemidji school resource officer or a DARE officer on bus routes that have had multiple reports of violations. While on the bus, the officer reports any observed violations to the police department, and a nearby officer will do a traffic stop and issue a citation. Routes have not been selected, and the days the officers ride along are random. The Bemidji Police Department asks drivers to be more aware of their surroundings and stop when the school bus stop arms are activated. It's anticipated the program will start this February.
North Dakota's House is considering legislation that would bar drivers from smoking in the car if they have a passenger younger than 9. Fargo Democrat Pamela Anderson's measure would allow police to pull over anyone seen smoking with young children in the car and fine them $25. Anderson says child safety outweighs adults' personal freedoms. She says secondhand smoke in confined spaces, such as a car, is a health threat to children. At least 8 other states have similar laws.
North Dakota motorists are paying the lowest price for gas in more than 2 years. AAA says the last time the statewide average was lower than Monday's average of $2.16 was December 21st of 2016. Gas prices are down 74 cents since last October as the price of oil plummeted 40% during the final quarter of 2018. But relief at the pump may be short-lived. Oil has seen a slow but steady increase since the beginning of the year. AAA says the national average for gas increased a penny last week, the first increase since October.
Minnesota's governor has made his first trip to Moorhead since taking over the office. Tim Walz and Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan are celebrating their inauguration tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Junkyard Brewery. Valley News Live's talk show host Chris Berg had a chance to discuss with Walz about firearm rights and Indigenous people legislation. If you would like to hear about their interview, tune in tonight on Point of View with Chris Berg. It starts at 6:30 on KX4.
Later on